Good morning and welcome. Welcome to CSL Greater Boston Sunday celebration. What a blessing it is to be here with you today for a wonderful gathering. It is going to be a beautiful mix of music and wonderful message. I am so grateful to be here with you for a topic that is near and dear to my heart, the word grace. Just the word grace lifts me up. It is one of those beautiful, beautiful words that instills hope in me the moment that I hear it. And we have a wonderful, amazing minister that is here to give this message today, Reverend Sharri Johnson. And before we go to that, before we begin and even go into prayer, we're going to sing a wonderful song to get us started. So I invite you to just settle back and allow Spirit to raise you up. Before I do that, I just want to mention who we are as a center. As I said, am Reverend Gina, and I am blessed to be the spiritual leader of this wonderful center that is in the midst of a beautiful creation. We are in the midst of revision every week, and we have such a beautiful unfolding in the midst. And, with that beauty, with that love, with that anticipation, there is so much love. So thank you for being here for that. But just know that who we are is a spiritual community that lovingly embraces all. We celebrate diversity through the practice of the science of mind teachings and the principles for the betterment of each individual and the oneness of all. That is who we are and who we stand to be in the world. And in that knowing, we are lifted up. So just take a breath and let these words settle in amazing ways.
When I am down and oh my soul so weary, when troubles come and my heart burdened be, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. am on your shoulders, you raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. Raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up to more than I can be.
What a beautiful song and what a beautiful sentiment. And with that, let's go right into prayer. Taking a breath and knowing that that one that lives, that one is all that there is, all there ever was and ever will be. And it's all right here and right now. But this oneness, that beauty, that love, that grace, that divine breath is living and breathing as me right here and right now. I am that I am presence, and as I know it of me, I know it of each one watching from home or out and about, wherever they may be. I know that this presence is each one, and that this service today celebrates that life itself, living and breathing as us, lifting us, raising us up in amazing ways. So I know that the divine grace of this day, this moment, is magical. That the music, the message, the beautiful message by Rev Sharri in coming together is perfect. Everything from technology to the sentiment and the knowing that each is left with. I know mountains are moved, any seeming distress or problems are relieved, and the flow of divine grace is right here, right now, in amazing ways. So, expecting the magic and miracles of this gathering, I'm so grateful to set it free and say, Amen and blessed be. And together we say, and so it is. And in that knowing, I'd like to share with you for a reading today one of my poems, and it's called Saving Grace. The burdens in life can be difficult, some days heavy hearted from loss. Sometimes you'll search for answers for which words are lost. Some people get sick while others are spry. Some pass in their youth while others live long and fruitful lives. Some progress effortlessly while others wait years to see. Some seem to never win while others get it all again and again. Some have so much help while others are left alone in doubt. Often we try to understand why fairness does not appear in common man. All have the ability to be joyous and free. and the ability to think and live differently. You're never alone, especially when life feels tough. Your strength is only found in Him when you stop to look within. Each came with different lessons to learn, with experience as different as each new morn. Whether you're mourning or rejoicing, success or plight, your experience is unique. So choose to live right. Realize it is you who decides where you plant your feet. You choose your path and focus on the things for which you attract. Your thoughts are creative and always bring back. So trust with your heart along your path. You will find help whenever you ask. Free will you were given at birth, but when divinely touched, you'll be carried through any hurt. Trust, my child. Things are as they should be. Trust, my child, in the power of me. So just knowing that that infinite that is within each each one, within me, within you, within each one of us, is lifting us in amazing ways and allowing that grace in, allowing it to flow. And it is a beautiful gift. And I am so grateful to bring our beloved Reverend Sharri here to talk about that gift. Reverend Sharri Johnson is an amazing woman who has a focused ministry. Her One Heart Retreats is in based out of Grandview, which is basically Kansas City area. And she's an amazing woman that is licensed by CSL and Emerson. She is one of my mentors and someone that I go to so often. She believes strongly and puts out a weekly blog and does peace meditations every week. So I encourage you to go to her oneheartretreatcenter.org and take a look at her, the amazing gifts that she puts out in the world. It's a gift for me to introduce to you someone that I love and know this topic is going to be absolutely beautiful with you, Reverend Sharri Johnson. Thank you for being here with us. She also just happens to be our vision coordinator and is on our board. And she has helped us create this new vision of the bigger and the metamorphosis that we're in the midst of here at CSL Greater Boston. So thank you for being a part and all that you do in the world and for CSL Greater Boston. And I introduce you to Grace.
Thank you for inviting me. It's wonderful to be here. This morning I'm talking about grace, which just happens to be my favorite God quality. Grace is a lovely word. It only has positive definitions. It can mean extra time to complete a task or make a payment, like a grace period. It can mean smooth and beautiful movement, like a graceful dancer. It can mean to bestow a gift, like gracing us with music, for instance. It can mean a prayer before meals. It can mean that unconditional beneficence that shows up when you least expect and most desire it, sometimes called a miracle. I call this one a God wink. My very first religious science practitioner, Judy Whitcraft, gave me that word, and I just love it. Another way to look at this is that grace is what we use to refill our pitcher, because you can't pour anything out of an empty pitcher. That's one of my favorite metaphors for spiritual awareness or conscious presence. It's the pitcher we pour from when we pray, when we help someone feeling a need, when we hold a baby or an adult who needs it, when we volunteer for any social or community project to benefit others. It's also the pitcher we pour into our own hearts when they hurt. The most common problem with folks who live in service to a church or a community or even a broader cause is that we don't check the pitcher anywhere near often enough. So we don't always notice when it's empty, and we just keep trying to pour. Eventually, we recognize the emptiness, and it's a blessing to know we can refill the pitcher with grace. It's as easy as turning on the tap. Just stop, open your heart, and listen for the gentle flow of unconditional, unlimited, constant love that is always waiting for our acceptance. That is grace. Grace is the quality of spirit that holds your hand when you're frightened, that keeps you company when you're lonely. It reminds you of your preciousness when you feel inadequate. The amazing thing about grace is that being a God quality, it is infinite, eternal, unconditional, and instantaneous. It is always available. A colleague of mine once told me that he saw grace as spirit's electricity, always active and ready to flow, just waiting for us to flip the switch. I find that a very comforting metaphor. So, how do we flip the switch? I'm going to share my own technique, but please know that the intention to flip it is the most important step, and you can't get that wrong. I usually start with a deep, easy breath, slow and gentle, in until no more will fit, and out until nothing is left. It helps to count on the in-breath and then measure the out-breath to the same count. A couple of these, consciously present, will shift my attention, and I strongly suspect it would shift anyone's attention, away from whatever challenge I'm experiencing, whether it's real or imagined. Once I'm no longer focused on the negativity I perceive, almost any positive statement of truth, I call it a confirmation of truth, will open my heart, mind, and consciousness to the infinite flow of the divine. For instance, God is all there is, so God is in this too. Or, I am one with the divine, so I am never alone. A couple of my favorites, my go-to affirmations, confirmations, are God is driving the bus, for when I feel the need to do something, even when there's nothing I can do. And God is not wearing my wristwatch, for those times when I can't even imagine, much less emulate, patience. My next step is to take a quiet little survey of my mind and emotions. Is there something out of proportion causing me to panic? What exactly is the negativity I am experiencing? Is it sorrow or grief over some perceived loss? Is it guilt over something I think I should have done or not done? Is it judgment of someone else's behavior, which is probably none of my business anyway? Not only does this little survey help me to clarify my current situation and begin to indicate possibilities for changing it, but it also just calms me down, which automatically lifts the cloud a little bit. Next, it's time to take control of my emotional state with another confirmation. Usually I say, there is a gift in this situation and I am ready to recognize it. In other words, I know there's a pony in this pile of poop and I have a shovel, which makes me laugh and either at myself or at the situation, and the cloud rises some more. This is the point at which I begin to recognize the grace flowing into my awareness. It looks a little bit like a shift in my self-image, from frazzled to calm, from frightened to confident, from hurt to healing. You see, grace is not a thing in itself that you can see or feel or touch. It is the spiritual atmosphere that envelops us when we begin to release the illusion of control and embrace the truth of oneness. When we stop trying to force that square peg into that round hole or change the laws of physics. We cannot see grace, but we can see its effect in the ballerina's twirl or the last stroke of the artist's brush. We sense grace. It is almost always accompanied by a sublime sense of thanksgiving for the solution to the challenge, of course, but also for the recognition of our own divinity, for the acknowledgement of ourself with a capital S value, and for the realization that we really could shovel the poop and find the pony. That's why I use this acronym for grace. Gratitude, rising as conscious experience. Let me say that again. Gratitude, rising as conscious experience. Please note, experience is a verb in this phrase. It is an activity we choose to embrace rather than something that happens to us while we're not looking. Grace is always flowing, always available, but we have to invite it into the story. Grace is the angel waiting at the window, and our acceptance is what lifts the latch. Grace is often accompanied by surrender. In fact, our most common method of inviting grace into a situation is through surrender. This used to really bother me until my first religious science practitioner gave me this definition of surrender. Surrender is simply moving over to the winning side. That just completely removes all negativity from the term, don't you think? So here's a little story from my own journey with grace, and yes, it really did start with surrender. 2 years ago, over the course of 2 weeks, I found myself dealing with the deaths of my best friend in the world and my baby sister. I lived in the middle of nowhere. Oh, well, don't say that. Let's say 2 hours from everything, Arkansas. And I had to drive to Lincoln, Nebraska and Kansas City, Missouri for the 2 services. It is significant to note that I lived in 2 hours from everything, Arkansas, by myself with 3 dogs and a cat, running a rural retreat center without any staff. And I had been doing that for 4.5 years since my husband's sudden death from cancer. I was dedicated and determined in the face of an unfriendly population and financial distress. I was also very lonely and discouraged. Those 2 trips put me in close contact with people who knew my truth with a capital T and believed it with me, and who loved and respected me. Then I went back to 2 hours from everything, Arkansas. Suddenly, my determination was challenged. It was shaken. So, knowing that God really is driving the bus, I prayed, God, I came here in answer to your call, and I will stay as long as this is where I can serve you best. But if I could go home and still be serving your highest purpose, I would really appreciate it. And then I let it go, because God is driving the bus. 3 days later, my nearest neighbor called to tell me that she had realized that I would never be accepted there and therefore was destined to fail, and to suggest that I sell her my property and go someplace where I would be welcome. I told her God had brought me there and I would stay until God told me to leave. And then, drama alert, I cried myself to sleep. When I called my prayer partner the next day to whine about the neighbor, my prayer partner stopped me dead in my tracks, reminding me about the old joke where an elderly man in the Ozarks declines 3 rescues, a rowboat, a speedboat, and a helicopter, and drowns in a flood. She said, "This sure looks like a rowboat to me." I wasn't quite convinced, so I calculated a price so high that I knew the neighbor couldn't possibly accept. And then when she called and I gave her the price, she said, "Okay," just like that. Okay. That unreachable price allowed me to move to Kansas City, which is my family's home for generations and generations, purchase a house, create a metaphysical library that is open to all ministers, practitioners, and students in person by appointment, and eventually will be available online 24/7, 365 across the globe. That's a goal much wider than the retreat center I thought I was supposed to run, and reaching a whole lot more people. And all I had to do was surrender my stubborn focus on my vision and shift my perspective just a little bit to Spirit's vision. And grace just poured in to smooth the way. That's how I came to be here, talking to y'all today. I could talk about this for a long time. It's one of my favorite topics. But I really believe words can only take us so far. And then we need to actually practice. We need to experience the verb, what we study, so that it can become real in our lives. So now I invite you to let go of anything in your lap or in your hands. Relax as much as possible without falling asleep. Trust your chair to support you so we can do a little visualization exercise on grace. First, call to mind some current challenge in your life. It can be large or small, but it needs to be current. Next, we begin with a soft, deep, easy breath. In slowly until your chest is fully expanded. Then equally slowly exhale completely. Then we're going to repeat that twice more. So in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, and in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. On the next breath, choose your confirmation statement. You can use one of mine. God is all there is, so God is in this too. Or I am with the divine, so I am never alone. Or better yet, create your own, because your mind always listens best to words that you would speak. Repeat it until it resonates in your whole being, over and over and over again. Now, picture that challenge as a puzzle made out of Legos or wooden blocks. At first, it's just a jumble, a pile of stuff. Then we start to explore the pieces. Are they emotions? Are they based on guilt or loss or judgment? See them being sorted into piles that you can organize by recognizing their basic forms. Emotions could be red cubes, and guilt could be green blocks, and loss could be yellow bricks, and judgment could be black wheels. Now separate the piles, each one by what is real and what is imaginary. Maybe you did lose a job, but you did not lose your skill. Maybe you did say something unkind that you can't take back, but you can still apologize. Maybe that choice was unwise, but you can always choose again. Now it's time to take control with another confirmation statement. And again, you can use one of mine, like there is a gift in this situation. I am ready to recognize it. Or choose your own. Now, throw away all the pieces that do not serve you. That's the poop. And arrange the remaining pieces into a pleasant pattern. That's the pony. Do you feel the grace in your solution? Can you accept the gratitude rising as conscious experience in your life? Namaste.
Thank you for that beautiful message and some visuals to go with it. I really appreciated that. And I know I will be listening to this again. And that's one of the beautiful things about being able to have it online. It's always available. So thank you for being here live, to all that are watching it right now. And we'd love to hear from you. You're welcome to put something in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. But thank you, Reverend Sharri, for that beautiful message, and very powerful and much needed. So thank you. And of course, we cannot have a message on grace without amazing grace. In this particular version, I love it is. It's actually, you'll see Wayne Dyer introducing this. His one of his life shows is how I first heard this version, and in the beginning of it, there's orcas singing in the ocean. So just allow the flow of the orcas, the beautiful voice and the words to just settle in. Amazing Grace. This is by Cecilia.
One of my truly favorite people and greatest singers I've known. Cecilia?
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. It was grace that taught my heart to feel, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear, the hour I first believed. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Was blind, but now I
I love that version of that song, and I love the message. Thank you, Rev Sharri. And our affirmation for today and for this week is Spirit fills my life with ease and grace. And if you could say that with me out loud, Spirit fills my life with ease and grace. And my job is to consciously invite it in, remembering that I am in that infinite abundant stream always. And to just know that and allow it in. So let's do that this week. And speaking of being in the flow, the law of circulation states that giving activates receiving. Know that we are here because of you, and we are able to do what we do and expand and grow and share good in the world and be that uplifting presence that we are because of people just like you, to our beloved community. Thank you. And you can go through PayPal, and you can find this on our website as well, or you can also go to Venmo. So whatever is easier for you, if you need an address to mail, that's available. Just go to, you can always reach out to me, Gina at cslboston.org. And let's read our sacred affirmation of giving. You can read it with me. Divine love adds me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. And so it is. We have so much planned, so many wonderful things in this expansion of life as CSL Greater Boston, in this beloved community. We have our Sacred Circle at 7 that is on Thursdays, which has been wonderful. This week we have Kenny Bovell, who is from Barbados, and this topic, we had done it last month, the seeds for spiritual growth. It's about self-awareness. And there was so many, the conversation was so rich, we decided to do it again. So I'm grateful that he's joining us again. Kenny Bovell from Barbados is going to be covering again the same topic because there is so much more to go into. Self-awareness, the seed for spiritual growth. So that's on Thursdays, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Wherever you are, join us. It's an amazing, and there's always people from all over the world in this oneness called life. And we are in person for the winter time, once a month. We are the second Sunday of each month. So the next one is March 12th, and we would love for you to join us. So again, March 12th, we would love for you to be in person. If you're anywhere near Boston, the Medford area is where we are. So we'd love to have you. And next weekend, we have a workshop, and it is practitioner Frank Nestoris, and he actually led this past week. He led the Sacred Circle at 7, and the topic of the workshop is what you're seeking is seeking you. So knowing that law of attraction, where we're focused, what you're looking for is coming for you. Using the laws of the universe to create the life of your dreams, and really going into how our affirmative prayer works, and really it's going to be a wonderful opportunity. So if you have any other questions, you can reach out to, it's actually F Nestoris, sorry about that. Or again, you can reach out to me, and it's Gina at cslboston.org. So I would love for you to just reach out and let us know, and I can send you the link for that. It's a Zoom, so wherever you are, we would love to have you there. We were originally looking at doing it sooner, but our visioning workshop now is going to be April 2nd. And this is a beautiful workshop that Rev Sharri and I are going to be doing together. And it's for beginners and those beginning again. So wherever you are, let's come back to center and really have that vision. Just like Reverend Sharri was talking about how her vision, when it changed, she was given everything she needed, and even greater was created. When she simply asked and allowed, everything flowed in incredible ways. So this is April 2nd. Please put it on your calendar. Again, it's by Zoom. So wherever you are, we would love for you to be there. And it's love offering. So no matter what, plan to join us and just be present with us. It's such a gift to have you. And we also have our visioning that we were speaking about tomorrow. So every Monday we have visioning, and we'd love for you to join us. The links are always on our weekly newsletter, and all you have to do is click on the picture and it'll take you right to us. Or you can go to also cslboston.org. So it's visioning for our greater get to be. And if there's something on your heart, you are always welcome to come and vision through the process as well. That if you need to know an answer, Spirit works in amazing ways when it comes to visioning. So thank you all for being here and part of this gift of a message for me. This was wonderful. And Reverend Sharri is going to do a prayer for us, an affirmative prayer, and then we have another song. So we'll see you on the side. I'll see you on the side of this beautiful prayer, and thank you for lifting us up with amazing grace, and continuing to do that right now.
I invite you to just relax in your chair and trust it to support you. Let all of your attention be focused on hearing these words with the ears of your heart, allowing them to become your words, this to become your prayer, so that you become the prayer who receives the benefit of the prayer. You can close your eyes if that's comfortable, but you don't have to. It doesn't matter a bit to God. So, there is only one life. That life is God. That life is perfect. That life is my life. That life is all life. That life is infinite and eternal. That life is sacred and omnipresent. It fills the entire multiverse, every nook and cranny, and there is nothing, absolutely nothing, that exists or could exist outside of or separate from that life, because every creation is an expression, a manifestation of the infinite presence of the divine. It expresses in, through, and as every sentient being, every person, every animal, every plant, every rock, every object, every place, every space in between places. And all of it, all of us, are ever and always surrounded, supported, suffused by the infinite loving presence of God. So all is well, no matter what it looks like, no matter what it feels like, no matter what it sounds or smells or tastes like. All is well, because all is one with God in us. And so it is. I invite you to anchor this by repeating together. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you so much. Thank you, Reverend Sharri, for a wonderful message and being with us, and all you do for our beloved center. You know, in this oneness called life, we don't have to be next door. We don't have to be in the same room. We're already in the one together. And I am wishing each one a beautiful week of receiving, of simply opening up and allowing that grace, that divine love in. And we're going to close with a wonderful, fun song by Gary Lynn Floyd, who we both love, and it's Love Be With You. So may love be with you this week. Even more magically, may we receive it even greater. Namaste.
Right, so this blessing is for you, and you can sing it along too. Love be with you, peace enfold you, spirit lift you, breathe it in. Truth come through you, may good flow to you, and let joy renew you till we meet again. Love be with you. Ooh, love be with you. Ooh, love be with you. Ooh, love be with you. Yeah. All together, hand in hand, we see the light, we take a stand, and we are changing. whole new life for you and me. Take your past and set it free. Share this blessing. Love be with you. Peace enfold you. Spirit lift you. Breathe it in. Truth come through you. May good flow to you. And let joy renew you till we meet again. Love be with you. Ooh, love be with you. Ooh, love be with you. Ooh, love be with you. Love be with you. Peace enfold you. Spirit lift you. Breathe it in. Truth come through you. Make good flow to you. And let joy renew you till we meet again. Love be with you. Ooh, love be with you. Ooh, love be with you. Ooh, love be with you. Love be with you. Peace enfold you. Spirit lift you. Breathe it in. Truth come through you. May good flow to you. And let joy renew you till we meet again. Love be with you. Love be with you.